All right, welcome back to another edition of Lesson Notes, and today I have the privilege of bringing you a very good player. This player is committed to Texas Christian University down here in Texas in the 2026 class, and so he is a top 100 ranked junior with a scoring average of around 72 with multiple rounds this year under par, including a 65. So, just for a reference, when you have a player coming in of this caliber, you really want to make sure that they're leaving very, very clear on what they're coming there for. And so with this player, it mainly was coming in with some problems with his irons as it relates to consistency and just kind of seeing the same misses. And so that's kind of the framework I want to start with, is that, if you're a good player, you're really, really just trying to look at what are the common problems that I see. And if you're a coach, maybe use this as a reference. I know sometimes when we see good players, it can be difficult because, maybe they have a unique pattern and you don't want to change it too much. So as long as you're thinking through the lens of, what are the main problems, then you can start to solve it. So we'll start with this video on the left. And the main problem that we were seeing when I was in front of him, plus, some of the feedback he gave me was, pulls and some overcuts. But when it's good, it's really, really good. So that'll be our framework. This yellow line that I've drawn on these two videos would be the impact plane. And so let's just kind of run through this. And, there's nothing necessarily, super alarming with this position other than the face looks kind of shut. Okay, so again, remember, we're looking at if someone's hitting it left, why are they hitting it left? And so those are just kind of context clues. Just because the face is a little bit closed right here doesn't mean that it's going to go left. But in general, that could be part of the problem. So as we go up, now we're going to start to see a little bit more of a picture. You can kind of see that hinge plane is pretty steep. And what I mean by that is, relative to that yellow line, it's definitely more vertical, pointing inside the ball. Again, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go left, but those are just things that I would be looking at. And I think this is where it really starts to get to be problematic for someone who kind of starts the ball left. Oh, by the way, he wants to hit a fade. A small fade, not as much of a fade as he kind of came in hitting. So we can see there, the club is a little bit across the line and the face is pretty closed. If you watch my videos, I always say, you can tell that the face is closed because we can see a lot of the face. If we can see a lot of the face is pretty shut. Okay, so I always say, if I were to screenshot that and post it on social media and ask a bunch of coaches, hey, what would you guess would happen? They probably would say this ball is either going to start left or over curve left. So again, we're trying to look at the cosmetics of the video as it relates to what the problems of the ball flight are. All right, now if we play this down, you can see that definitely is coming down a little bit steep. Again, he's trying to hit a cut, so it's probably going to be over that line a little bit. But if the path gets too far left and the face gets too strong, which we can see there, that is still a little bit on the strong side. I would like to see the toe up a little bit more in general. This is probably going to go left. And there we go. So that exits a little bit below that line. And basically, this is a straight pull. Club path is in the 4 to 5 degree left range, which is fine. But if the face is closed, then obviously it's going to go left. So I'm going to go back to the top of the backswing. And just as a reference. Okay, so there we are. Now, one thing I want to note, we're also talking about things that cause it to go left. You can see I do have the stick on the ground here. I always have it on the ground for target line. The stance line is a little bit open to that. And then the other thing that we noticed was his ball position gets a little bit forward. Again, if someone's trying to hit a fade, they should have the ball forward. And it's okay for them to have the stance line a little bit left. Those things are going to help. But if we're trying to take out some of that curve, we might consider that. So if we shift over to this video on the right, you can see I have an alignment stick for ball position because we moved a little bit back. His stance line is a little bit more square. And then you can see here that the yellow line is a little bit in the way, but there's a ball right here. And I'll get to that ball in a second, but just pay attention to that. So the only thing that I told this player to do on the backswing was I wanted him to spin the face open on the backswing, okay? So literally, you'll hear in golf instruction, don't use your hands, use your big muscles. I have never really found that to be the case. Good players have extremely good hands. They're very good at putting. They're very good at chipping. And when you give them something to do with their hands or their wrists, they're generally really good at it. This is literally one swing later. So you can see already the face is much more open. If we do a comparison to the previous one, you can already see that looks quite a bit different visually. And so this is likely going to set up a much, much different position throughout the backswing. So as we go, you can see the hinge plane is already getting a little bit flatter. Flatter just means more in line with that yellow line. And as we go to the top of the backswing, you can see right there that the hinge plane is much, much flatter, and the face is weak. Now, so if we go back to what we said earlier, that if we can see the face, it's shut. Well, if we can't see the face, that would be pretty square, and I would say that's very, very square. And so if we were to play this out on the downswing, because the hinge plane is now a little bit flatter, or the club is a little bit more laid off, you can see right there that's slightly laid off with the weaker face, it's just going to come down that line much, much quicker. So he's on that line with the club head, versus you can see there's a comparison. Pretty different look right there. The hand path is obviously above the line, but the club would be shallowing, if you will. The shaft would be flat, and it's just going to kind of cruise down this line with the face a little bit weaker. And so the path on this one was like 1 degree left, and the face was pretty much on target. So it basically started at the target and then went right. Now, the reason I have this golf ball here is he had said that he wanted to make sure that he wasn't hitting too much of a fade. So if I put that ball right there, then the club can't necessarily exit so far left. So if we go back to this previous shot, you can see when the club is exiting, you would probably hit that ball. And so just by putting that ball there, we can see that the club kind of finishes down the line a little bit more and not so far left. A couple things visually that you'll see different at kind of this lead arm parallel. As a consequence, you can see that his knees are more neutral versus this one's a little bit more spun out. So again, the only thing that I told him in the swing was spin the face open and then miss that golf ball. But these are the visual things that will look different. You can see the right heel is up in the air versus here it's down. Again, those aren't necessarily things I'm telling him. Those are consequences of doing things. That would be something like a domino effect. If I do one thing, then a lot of things change. And that's always what I'm trying to do in coaching is what can I do that's going to make this as simple as possible for this player so that they leave hitting it well, understanding what to do, and it's very, very simple for the most part. So hopefully you found this interesting. If you're someone who over fades it or pulls it, then this video is going to be very, very correlating. If you have any questions, please reach out. Would love a comment. And yeah, thanks for watching, and good luck next time you head to the range.